Hello everyone and welcome to Checkpoint. Let us see the first question. What is an increment? An increment is the total number of product backlogs that is delivered to the customer for a sprint review at the end of the sprint. What is the duration of a Scrum sprint? So this typically depends on the size of the project team. So generally a 4 to 8 member team is used, and the duration of each of these sprints can be anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. What is a burn down chart? A burn down chart gives us information of the amount of work that is pending to be completed, and it helps us to trace the progress of the project. In addition, we also have the burn up chart, which gives us an indication of the amount of work that has been completed comparing to the plan. What do you understand by Scrum of Scrums? Imagine that there is a large project which has got say 5 Scrum teams, and each of these teams will have 4 to 8 members. To ensure that there is an effective communication across these teams, a separate Scrum meeting is held, and there is a representation from each of these Scrum teams. So typically it's a technical contributor of that particular Scrum team who attends this meeting. So a designer, developer, tester, database administrator attends this meeting as a representative instead of a product owner or Scrum master. So this meeting, which happens between the Scrum teams, is called the Scrum of Scrums. What do you understand by story point? Story point is actually referencing the actual effort that may be required to complete a particular user story. What do you understand by planning poker technique? Planning poker technique is also known as Scrum poker. It is typically used for estimation purposes. So the product owner has multiple user stories and there is an estimate to be done. There are estimators who will be given a set of cards which will have numbers in the Fibonacci series 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 and so on. So as soon as a product owner reads out the user story or the requirement, the estimator will pick a card and show that number. This number is typically the story point or the number of days it will be taken to complete that particular user story. So that is taken as the estimate. If all the estimators show the same number, then it is treated as the right estimate. If there are high and low value differences between the estimators, they can have further discussion with the product owner in private, and once again they show this particular estimate value or the user point in private to the product owner. Once everybody have the same number, then that is taken as the estimate for the user story. So this is called the planning poker technique. What is zero sprint? So zero sprint refers to the set of activities that you need to perform before you actually start your first sprint project in Agile. So this will include setting up the environment, maybe the readiness of the backlogs, the initial activities that you need to perform before you actually start the sprint project. This is referred to as zero sprint. What is sashimi in Agile context? Sashimi is actually a Japanese word, and with respect to Agile, it refers to delivering code one thin slice at a time. So you give a slice, then you give a slice, then you give a slice. The reference to this particular Japanese word is on the foods of the Japanese. So Japanese, if you see, the food is not big. So it's generally typically small. Their sushis or all their food items are small, and it has to be having the same taste. So if I take a fish, you have to ensure that the slices of each of the slices of the fish has the same texture, taste from beginning to end. And same way in every sprint, each phase with respect to requirements, development, testing is treated equally, and the product is incrementally built to the satisfaction of the customer. What is a build breaker? Build breaker is actually an error that is inadvertently created by a developer, which actually is unacceptable and does not help compiling the product and we cannot proceed further. So it is the responsibility of the developer to fix that particular issue. So this is called a build breaker. What is the difference between sprint backlog and product backlog? So in one of the earlier videos, we saw an example of building a shopping site. As a customer, I want multiple features in that particular shopping site. So the list of features that we are going to build for a particular sprint is called sprint backlog. The complete list of requirements that we got from the customer, which the product owner maintains, is called the product backlog. Name 3 agile frameworks other than Scrum. So you can take Kanban, feature-driven development, behavior-driven development. If you need additional information or more frameworks, you can check out this video in the link above. What is Scrum? Scrum is actually an agile framework which helps to get the teams together and build products in increments and deliver value in the shortest possible time. There are disadvantages and advantages of Scrum. So you can check this video link above for additional information on Scrum. What is the concept of time boxing? So when we plan our day, we'll put a kind of a schedule for ourselves. Okay, 9 to 10, I'm going to study. 11 to 12, I'm going to have a break, watch TV. 1 to 2, I'm going to have lunch. So what I'm typically doing is, rather than waiting for the task to be completed, I allocate a time for that so that I have my focus to complete my task. This concept is called time boxing. In agile development, time boxing helps the developers to allocate a specific amount of time. It helps them to get the focus on the deliverable and not waste their time on other trivial items. Name the common tools used in Scrum. Version 1, Atlassian Jira and RTC Jazz are commonly used. Version 1 is a cloud-based agile application lifecycle management tool which enables stakeholders to track progress of large programs, projects. Atlassian Jira is a bug and issue tracking tool. And Rational Team Concert, RTC, is an open multi-platform team collaboration tool that is used by developers for agile lifecycle management. It is cloud-based and it supports medium and large teams as well. What are the 5 ceremonies in Scrum? The product backlog refinement, the sprint planning, the daily Scrum, the sprint review and sprint retrospective are the 5 ceremonies in Scrum. And now that brings us to the end of this session of Checkpoint. Thank you.